Hey, welcome to LeapTV. I'm Deanne, Director of Efficiency and Customer Happiness for Leap Zone Strategies. And I'm here today with Isabelle Mercier.
Hello, hello. I was just saying to the people there, she's awesome.
I missed that. Today we're going to talk about brand premise.
How are you going to start this subject up? I'm curious.
Well, I was going to tell people that when clients come to Trailblazers for a private retreat, you really drill into their brand architecture.
Yes.
And I think it's probably a good place to start is like in 30 seconds or less, can you tell us what brand architecture means?
Yeah, brand architecture is basically your brand DNA. Another way of saying it is a brand DNA. It's all the ingredients of your business and your brand, of what makes you you, of why I should pick you over anyone else regardless of price. And there's many ingredients: mission, for example, vision, promise, premise, core values. Those are all key ingredients to really drill down to what makes you you, what differentiates a solopreneur from another solopreneur that does the exact same thing. Like, why would I choose John over Odette, right? That's the whole part, yeah.
I love that when we ask you for 30 seconds, there's no 30 seconds in Isabelle's world.
I thought that was like 10 seconds.
Oh, amazing.
Was that a minute or two?
It's totally cool. I don't even know. I don't have a clock. But, I'm really lucky because I get to be on a lot of calls and a lot of Build to Rock calls, and I get to read recommendations after retreats for proofing. And I'm noticing that we're talking more and more about brand premise, that it's becoming a big focus of what you're helping people nail down. You said the word promise.
Yes.
And I'm curious what's the difference between premise and promise?
Yeah, the promise is your measurable accountability, basically. So it's what you offer and what is really needed in your industry or with your clients. Okay. And so it's the one thing or the two things that you deliver come rain or shine. For example, at Leap Zone, our promise is clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. We will deliver that. Doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter who's delivering. This is what we live to deliver. Right. Premise is what divides the room, is a statement. It's a brand stand that divides the room for people to go, oh, I totally agree with this person, or this person is on crack. I do not believe what they're saying. And premises are meant to be very interruptive. They're made to interrupt. Why? Because they need to divide. And the goal of someone is to have a strong premise, and I'll possibly give examples. You're probably going to ask for a few examples. The stronger the premise is, the more the room will divide. But my goal after that is to get the people who believe in what I believe to believe it even more, to go, oh my God, we want to belong in her community. And my goal is to also address the other people who don't believe. And the point is to prove the premise. And half of these people who are going, she's on crack, might actually go, oh my God, her explanation makes actual sense, and I'm jumping ship.
Oh, interesting.
That's the goal of a premise.
So even though you're dividing the room, you might win people over by actually helping them to see something they didn't see.
Yeah, because a premise needs to be educated upon. It's not something that you say that suddenly everybody understands. Okay. It's something that you've got to educate people on. It's got to interrupt. And once you interrupt people, you got to give them something. So when you educate on a premise, by the pure fact that you're educating, of course, you're going to gain the trust of other people that might not have agreed with your initial. Here's a good example of a premise. One of our clients, her premise is millennials have it right. Ah. Well, a lot of baby boomers would go, I don't think so.
Roll their eyes.
Right, roll their eyes. But when you hear what she has to say, it makes absolute sense. And I could see how, and by the way, she's a baby boomer herself, so that helps the matter. But I know that there are a lot of baby boomers that work with her. She specializes in bridging the gap between baby boomers and millennials.
Right.
And believe me, when she educates people on that, they go, oh my God, I totally get it. I didn't agree with your statement initially, which is good. This is what you want. And now I do. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, I know we've talked about how there's 5 ingredients to this, so I'm just going to list them.
Sure.
So they are that it needs to be powerful,
Yes.
provocative, clear, succinct, and relevant.
Yeah, and these 5 basically categories, when we create a premise, we always measure it against those things. It's got to interrupt. It's got to be powerful. It's got to be succinct. A premise cannot be a paragraph.
Okay.
It's got to be a few words, a sentence maximum. And it's got to be super powerful and succinct. Yeah, it's super important. That is the key. Another great premise is, I'm looking for the word here, enabling. So another great premise is enabling kills. That's another client of ours, this premise. Super powerful. Now, I know doctors, some doctors would go, I don't think so. But yeah, what we mean is it can kill your spirit, it can kill your friendship, enabling can kills your appetite for life. It kills many different things. And also, one can lose their life from an addiction that's been enabled.
Right.
So again, it's very potent.
Super interesting. So is there a time when a company should think about looking at their brand premise again? Like say they've said it, does it change over time? Is it static?
Some will change. Like I don't think enabling kills will ever change because that is the matter of fact. But as people grow, as people mature, things change. And what used to be interrupting a year ago might not be today due to your ideal client having grown and having learned and being more mature in the subject matter. So yeah, sometimes you got to review those things. Yeah.
And how would a company start to, like, if they're, say, not at Trailblazers yet, how are they going to find their brand premise? What's the can you give us 2 steps to get that going?
The first step would be to just look at what it is that you stand for. Like, what are the things that you wholeheartedly believe and stand for that, and they might not be interrupting and powerful and succinct right now, and that's okay. But, oh my God, there's so many examples that come to mind, like Foxy Box, one of this kind. Their premise is a Foxy Box is the key to happiness. Well, some might argue that. Some, I'm sure, don't know what a Foxy Box is, and I'll leave it at that for now. But the key here is that I forget what the question was. Why was I saying that?
What are 2 things someone can do to start to draw out their own brand premise?
So, but that premise came out of them believing, they're like, you know what? We believe that a Foxy Box is the key to happiness. Okay, well, let's write this down. We believe that enabling kills. We believe that in order to be happy, you gotta pause and you gotta stop and you gotta relax. There's lots of beliefs that you would have. You start by listing them down. And then you start by looking at which one really grabs you by the balls, really, because that's what it is. And it's got to be. And once you have the subject matter that actually is potent, then you craft it for it to be interrupting.
Right.
Interruptive, I should say.
It sounds like quite a process and definitely something that people can reach out and get help for if they're not on the path to getting there on their own.
In fact, I will say that this is what we do for a living, and we have people to help us with our own. Because I've always said that when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture. And that's a hard one. Any key foundational parts of a brand DNA, mission, vision, core values, premise, promise, those are really hard points to do on your own, even for me that does that for a living, because we're too close to the subject matter.
Right. We take some of what we think for granted or what we do. Like we don't necessarily see what it is that we're actually doing.
That's right.
And the way we do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That was really helpful. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about brand promise or anything or
premise? I know. See, I might have to rename that one. It's all good.
Is there one last thing you want to leave us with regards to brand premise?
All I would want to say is it's okay to disrupt. It's okay to create disagreement. In fact, it's needed. The goal of being a strong brand isn't created by having everybody agree. It's created by having people who wholeheartedly believe in it and other people who don't. And it's okay to piss people off once in a while. Don't think that you've got to please everybody, because that makes a brand that's diluted instead of a powerful one. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really helpful.
You're welcome. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us for LeapTV.
There's going to be plenty more where these came from. And of course, we're just going to remind you that it's much easier to do it than it is to dwell on it. See you next time.
Want easy to implement and free advice? Be sure to subscribe to our success community to become a Leap Zone insider. You'll get instant access to my bestseller ebook called 12 Smart and Powerful Principles to Transform You into an Ideal Client Magnet. You'll also get some exclusive content, special giveaways, and personal updates from me that I don't talk about anywhere else. I'll see you there. Build to Rock is here. Want in? Go to buildtorock.com for more info and to apply.
Yeah, it's just the attitude. All of it's just the attitude.
All right, ladies. Here
All
we
right.
go.
Oh, we're actually rolling.